Hello and welcome back to another video on legends and myths. Today I'll be telling you the story of the great wolf Fenrir, the Unbound. In Norse myths, Fenrir is the son of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angerboda, which makes him the brother of Jormungandr, the world serpent, and Hel, the goddess of death. The gods had terrible forebodings concerning the fate of these three beings, for it was seen that they would bring nothing but chaos and destruction to Asgard. So the gods thought in order to keep these monsters at bay, they would have to separate all three of Loki's children. They threw Jormungandr into the ocean, where he encircled Midgard, the world of humankind. Hel was relegated to the underworld, which the realm would later be called Helheim. Fenrir, however, was brought to Asgard as a pup, where he would be raised by the Aesir gods in order to keep him under control and prevent him from wreaking havoc throughout the 9 worlds. Although Tyr, being the indefatigable upholder of law and honor, was the only one who dared to approach Fenrir to feed him. Fenrir grew at an astonishingly fast pace, so much so that the gods were starting to worry. Fearful of how enormous Fenrir grew in size, the gods decided to conjure up a plan to tame the great wolf to prevent the devastation he would cause if he were to roam free. As is recounted more fully in the tale, The Binding of Fenrir, the gods decide to bind, which they attempted by using various chains. They were able to gain Fenrir's consent by telling him that these fetters were tests of his strength, and also by clapping and cheering with each new chain they presented him, he broke free. At last, the gods sent a messenger down to Svartalheim, the realm of the dwarves. The dwarves, being the most skilled craftspeople in the cosmos, were able to forge a chain whose strength couldn't be equaled. It is said that the chain was created from the sound of a cat's footsteps, the beard of a woman, the roots of mountains, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird, in other words, things which don't exist, and against which is therefore futile to struggle. Gleipnir was its name. When the gods presented Fenrir with the curiously light and supple Gleipnir, the great wolf suspected trickery and refused to be bound with it unless one of the gods would lay his or her hand in his jaws as a pledge of good faith. Neither of the gods agreed, knowing that this would mean losing a hand and breaking an oath. But there was one god who was willing to take the risk. The brave Tyr, for the good of all life, was the only god among the Aesir who volunteered to fulfill the great wolf's demand. And sure enough, when Fenrir discovered that he was unable to escape from Gleipnir, he chomped off and swallowed Tyr's hand. The fettered beast was then transported to the island of Lyngvi, a lonely and isolated place. The chain was tied to a boulder, and a sword was placed in the wolf's jaws to hold them open. As the great wolf howled wildly and ceaselessly, a foamy river called Van flowed from his drooling mouth. There, in that sordid state, he remained. Until the day of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, and the 9 realms are destroyed in the great battle. According to the prophecy, Fenrir would destroy the biggest part of the cosmos during Ragnarok. He will be free again, and he will run all over the cosmos with his lower jaw to the earth and his upper jaw to the sky, devouring everything in his path. His sons, Sköll and Hati, will devour the sun and moon. It is also said that the great wolf kills Odin, fulfilling his vengeful thirst for the All-Father's blood. It is also said that Fenrir will then be killed by Odin's son, Vidar, as an act of vengeance. Fenrir's sons, Sköll and Hati, are 2 wolves who are only mentioned in passing references that have to do with them pursuing Sol and Mani, the sun and moon, through the sky in hopes of devouring them. It is only when they catch their prey that the sky and earth will darken and collapse, marking the beginning of Ragnarok. Now, although Fenrir is considered a villain slaying Odin, the All-Father in Norse mythology, he can also be seen as a victim of cruelty and neglect, for he never truly had a good upbringing, due to the gods foreseeing the destruction he would cause upon the 9 realms. Now the real question is, was Fenrir born that evil? Considering he was just a pup when he was taken away from his family, for it was the gods who separated the family of Loki. No one is born evil, for in the beginning we are all innocent, but if we become evil, we are usually pushed to that point by life adversity. After all, the family of Loki had endured, and Fenrir did what he had to do to protect his family. For when the time came and the call for action was made, he had to seize the opportunity. Fenrir fought for what he believed, despite having to suffer for most of his life. He still had the strength to break free from his chain, rising up with his heart full of hatred and having only one motive since he obtained his freedom: revenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this to come. Let me know what you think of the great wolf Fenrir. Do you think he was a victim for how the gods have treated him, or a villain for bringing chaos and destruction upon the gods and the 9 realms? Me personally, I think if the gods hadn't treated the children of Loki so poorly, Ragnarok probably would have never happened. But I'll leave that for you guys to decide. Take care, and I'll see you in the next myth.